Hello everybody, this is Toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at Robot Paradise number 2. This is Acoustic Blaster. So in this video, we're going to have a quick look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. When we get into robot mode, though, I'm going to spend a bit of extra time because what I think is brilliant is there's an abundance of accessories here, and I mean like a few bags of them, where you can convert the robot mode to look exactly like the Generation 1 toy mode, which I think is brilliant. So we're going to spend quite a bit looking at that. We're going to have a look at the other accessories that come with him, as well as the instructions in the collector's cards. That's the Takara masterpiece there behind, so we can see how he looks and fares against that. I've also got the Fans Toys Blaster figure as well for more comparisons, and indeed I'll bring in some other masterpiece figures to give you an idea of the scale and size of this particular figure. So as I start to pop all of these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And the other is to thank Show Z, which is where this came from, and you've probably already noticed there's a link in the description where you can get yours from as well. So apologies for that glare. Let's very quickly, before we get any further, look at the packaging. It hardly fits on screen, but if I angle it down, you can see there we've just got a product image there of the figure itself, and then on the back we've got some more product images. We've got there where you can see the difference between the toy deco and I suppose this cartoon appearance. I'm going to be showing you Nightbat transformed as well in the other part of the video, and then for people who want to read it, let me just bring this up there. I'm going to slowly, let's get that out of the way, bring this down, and then you can pause and read it at your leisure. So loads to read there, oops, and indeed loads to get through. He also, once you take him out of that box, comes very sturdily packed in one of these. But what I've noticed, it says RPO1, which of course was the Soundwave packaging, so they've just duplicated that. Right, let's bring the figure in and have a look at that. So the first thing that completely took me by surprise, shall we say, let's just lower this back down so we can see it without reaching in. That glare is lovely but terrible at the same time. Yeah, so the first thing is just the weight of this, how chunky, and can you call it stocky? I don't know if that's the correct word or not, but this is massive. And as I say, I haven't really had much experience with Fans Toys figures, etc. Now I know this is a Soundwave and I know this is G1, but obviously you'll forgive me for not transforming my original Soundblaster figure. So just to give you an idea of how much bigger it is, what shocks you the most is it's about the same dimensions at the front, but then when you come to folding it over, there's twice as much stuff here, and all of this is pretty much die cast. So the weight on this is, yeah, it's really heavy. It's got to be a couple of kilos, to be honest, in the weight. So it's much bigger. What always still makes me laugh and surprises me is the actual cassette deck is always still the same size. And what I mean by that is you can take this particular cassette, it should, I've just said this now and probably jinxed myself, but I know that like the masterpiece figures like the Takaras, they all do still fit in these. Now I've just gone and jinxed myself and that hasn't fit in there, but you can see what I mean, that it would and it should. And whereas exactly the same with this, even though this is much bigger, this should. And I'm not particularly, what's the word, confident in this, shall we say. Now I've not even transformed this, I've not took it out of the box, and apart from ready for the review, so it should fit in. But again, I always keep everything rolling even if something's go wrong, because at the end of the day you need to know or experience this for yourself. Now to me it doesn't look like it fits in, and as I say, I've done, oh there you go, it is gonna, is it? Oh right, that to me scared everything out of me then, but it has gone in no issues. I'm not obviously going to do that with this particular figure, but it should fit in because as I say, crazily enough, they've pretty much got exactly the same dimensions as the G1 cassettes, or the Diaclone, whichever you want to refer to them as. So yeah, he's twice the size in the width. You can already see that the eject button opens and works, which is great. The one thing that's different again from what I'm used to with G1 is you can't open up this battery pack because it's all part of the transformation, so everything is held in, and if you want to take this out and open it, you've got to disconnect all of this, which, you know, it's no hardship. It just means now that I can show you these, but if you wanted to store them in there, then of course you could. That's, I suppose, maybe it could be classed as negative, but it isn't to me because it doesn't really make much difference to that. The overall, as I say, appearance of it, it's clever, it's good. They do manage to tuck so many things. Look at the underside of that. It looks It's quite a complicated transformation, but it's not overly difficult. There's loads of steps. It flows quite well. Fingers crossed I'll get a transformation process video up for you very soon. But yeah, as I say, there's obviously loads more going into it than what this I don't want to be cheesy and corny and say there's more to it than meets the eye, but that's definitely the only thing I can say regarding this in this particular mode. Anyway, all right, the instructions themselves aren't the greatest as usual. Couple of reasons is it's not very clear. Once you get into that particular mode, the toy mode, that shouldn't be too difficult. The cassette is going to be really difficult because it's got the pictures of him from the bat into the actual cassette, which we haven't done. But otherwise, I don't find, and most people will seem to concur, that the third-party instructions aren't the greatest anyway. Right, the collector's cards that come with him are these. You get two, of course. I think they're calling him, yeah, they are. They're calling him Nightbat. And acoustic blaster, of course, is just a very clever name for a that's it, for I suppose a sound blaster. Same thing. There you go, guys. Not much more to say about the particular alternate mode. We're going to come back. He's going to be in his standard robot mode, and as I say, then we'll do the actual transition. I'll show you on video how to change it all over. Okay then, guys, we're back in his robot mode, and to be honest, it is super impressive. The transformation isn't too bad. I will be uploading a separate tutorial for you, but what I'm about to say, again, please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, because this is perhaps where I go a little bit too overly nitpicky. The purpose of Sound Blaster, or in fact the purpose of that particular character or the toy from way back in Generation 1 was the main thing that he could fit two of his cassettes in his chest. That is why they gave him the bigger chest, which is of course way bigger and the more standard normal Soundwave, because normal Soundwave can only hold one cassette in his tape deck, whereas Sound Blaster, the whole purpose of the retool, the whole purpose of the figure was the same with Twincast, to be able to hold two cassettes. So I have tried, I've got my eject tape from my Fans Hobby Blaster, and I've already transformed obviously Ratbat, but I cannot get two tapes in it. I can't even get a Fans Hobby and then a much thinner and a much slightly smaller Generation 1 in. If I'm doing anything wrong, guys, please do let me know in the comments. And it sounds like, well, I am having a moan, because to me that is just pointless. Yes, it's nice to redeco what obviously clearly was a brilliant Soundwave mold, but they failed massively. In fact, they've failed epically if you can't get two cassettes into his chest, because that is the main purpose of Sound Blaster. Anyway, let me move on, because as I say, unfortunately the robot is very nice, very streamlined, works really well. So I hope I haven't gone too hard in on him. Let's have a look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt is great. By the way, this is the animation version. I'm going to be doing the toy deco for you in a second. So the head will look up and down. You can see it'll spin all the way around. The arms will go out on ratchets, full T all the way up. They can then spin all the way as round as well, like that, obviously out and up. Again, these ratchets, wow, these are tight. You've then got full bicep flexion, which is going all the way up. Your wrists will swivel as well. You've got multiple articulation points on the fingers. You've got them at the knuckles, at the tips of the fingers as well. There is a legitimate ab crunch, which you can see there. That is nothing to do with any transforming parts. That is supposed to be there. That is the intended ab crunch. And then what you can carefully do as well is if you just lift this up ever so slightly, you've got a full 360-degree rotation. So this is what had the batteries, this was the batteries, in the back, and I've got them out here ready to show you these in a second. It does all tidy up very well, to be honest. So we've done the spring there. The hip skirts will come, look at that, all the way up, so you can fill that all the way to the top. We'll bring that back down. So while the hip skirts are still up, let's take it out to the side as well. And of course, both legs will do this. They will go all the way up past, just about, past the point of vertical and horizontal. You can if you wanted to, but you would have to just undo this tab here. You can have a movement in the top of the thigh as well. You've still got a swivel, which you can see there. It'll swivel on the top of the thigh. If you wanted an additional one, all you've got to do is just separate that little tab free. Full knee articulation all the way back. Loads of movement there. Same for the foot. and the ankle and the toe tab. So again, as you'd expect, masterpiece price, masterpiece level articulation, and again, he looks great. And as I mentioned in one of the first parts, he is so heavy. He just feels super chunky. I've just realized I've not folded that bit down on that side, but I can sort that out in a second when it comes to doing some of the other parts. So I have mistransformed him, but I will sort that out. Right, let's bring in Ratbat. Oh, I think they called him Nightbat. This is clever. This is a definite upgrade on the Takara version. The Takara version has still got obviously bits of the tape at the front, and again, there's quite a bit of this which is made out of die cast, whereas this is obviously all plastic, and really quite clever. All of these little bits sort of hide and tuck away in there. Again, I'm going to upload a separate tutorial video for him. The head will go up and down as well. The wings, as you can see, articulation 1, 2, 3, 4 points I think on each wing. The legs will move out as well on them little hinges. So as you can see, super duper articulate. Right, let's bring in the Takara Sound Blaster, which funnily enough, I think now I've just said that, maybe that couldn't even hold 2 cassettes. It doesn't look like, oh yes it could, that's it. It had the additional thing where you could push it back, which was again exactly the same as the original toy. So let's bring a few comparisons then. So let's bring Sound Blaster from Takara in. Let's bring Fans Toys, which I do believe Fans Toys and Robot Paradise are indeed the same company, I think. Again, if I've got that wrong, again, please let me know. I don't tend to know absolutely everything, but they all look brilliant together. I'm sure you'll agree. Yeah, they seem to scale pretty well together. So let's move these out of the way. I've got another. This is the Toy Deco MP44. And then this is, I think it's Huge Rhino, one of the names, I always get them mixed up anyway, and that's one of the Kang Toys gold Predacons. So yeah, huge. This is going to display really well with all of these, to be honest. It looks like he fits in and doesn't, you know, he's not too much out of place. I know they do try to do that intentionally, and it does of course make perfect sense for them to do that. Right, very quickly before I start to take him to pieces, as in do the other mode, let's bring in, there is of course Earthrise Prime and the new Breakdown Prime Universe figure. G1 Prime has fallen over, so let's stand him up. This is just to give you an idea, these aren't to scale at all. That's actually Missing Link, that's Hot Wheels, that's Core Class, and pretty much there's a deluxe class figure there for you as well. So again, you get an idea and a sense of his size. Funnily enough, I've got another core class figure there. I'll bring him in and just start to move these out of the way. So this, what I do really like, this is another, I suppose, added bonus to the fact that you've got a toy mode as well. And to be honest, it's a really good representation of the toy. So there's the original toy. We've got all of these accessories here, like so. It's just a case, and I'm probably going to need the instructions because I can't remember it off the top of my head, so I'm going to pop it there. It may or may not come in an encroach on the screen. If it does, I'll try to get it out of the way, but I want to be able to see and show you how to do it at the same time rather than just turn it off. So right, what we've got is, it looks like this is going to come off here. Yes, it is. That's going to tab on by the looks of it, nice and simply. Now on this, it's got them sliding in, which I don't think it is. I think it's that way around, unless the previous owner of my vintage one put the stickers on the wrong way around. I'm just going to copy the toy rather than the instructions for something. So that should just fit in via these two tabs. He says should, but for some reason, as you can see, I'm struggling and I don't know why. Maybe it does go this way. Let's have a look. It should just slot in. Maybe I will have to turn the camera off and pop them all on, because I know you don't want to see this or me struggling for too long. It shouldn't be this difficult though, let's be honest, it shouldn't. This should just slot into position. Right, I'm going to come back to that in a second, because I've got to pull this out anyway, because this is the next thing that I'm going to take out, which is that. This is going to be on the front. It's telling me that that should be that way around. You can see the good thing about all of these is they do just slot in and out usually. Why is this playing up on me? It's typical. It's because it knows that I like to do everything in one take without trying to, you know, take too much away. But what I'm going to have to do, guys, I am going to take, I'm going to pause it quickly, do at least one half, and then show you the rest in a second. So there we go. I've got the one side down, and I've pretty much worked out how to make the other one much easier, to be honest. What I found out doing best was bringing this right down, folding it over on itself like that. So of course it's square, and now I'm saying this, but this now should just enable you to pop this on, no real issues, as long as you've got it right. Yeah, there we go. So lift that up, In fact, while that's down there, we're now going to take this part off. This is another attachment that needs to come off. That comes off as simple as that. Turn it so you've got the arrow pointing down towards the top, so that's going to fit in there. This is just a brilliant attention to detail, to be fair. That's going to tuck in there. This now should, you're looking for the rectangle to be at the bottom, and then this should just snap in, no problem whatsoever. So you can see it really is starting to look exactly like the toy next to us. This here will come off. Just be careful as you're starting to disconnect it, because it takes this whole portion off there. Then the bit that we're going to replace it with, where's it gone? There it is. So this will fit in via that tab first and foremost, and snugly around there. The one last place that I need to do is take the head, pull that from the front. Then we're going to attach this head, which of course, brilliant. Look, toy deco head. This is the way that I'm going to be displaying it. It looks so much better. This just attaches to the side, no issues whatsoever. So again, all the tabs, all the cutouts are already set up and lined in place. I just, again, because it's a brand new toy, I just perhaps made it look far more difficult than what it was. So that's all clipped in there. We've made the legs that little bit more chunky. It does look a lot better. The only thing I haven't changed is the chest plate. I'm not going to do that just because it might take too long. But again, it's good that they've got the same colour, because of course the purpose of this in G1 was to be able to read the Fortress Maximus weak point on the special sticker on the special Buzzsaw figure. Right, there we go. I'm going to now put, even though he's not his cassette, I'm going to put eject in there because... Sorry, rewind in there. Oh wow, put it the wrong way around. There's his head. I never realised it did that. Right, let's put it this way round. See if it can click in. There's definitely no space in there for two cassettes. I'm pretty sure of it. I say definitely, I'm pretty sure. But again, I'm waiting for you guys to let me know in the comments. Right, the other bits that I didn't show you then was the accessories. So of course, this can be the shoulder cannon that can fit on there. And to be honest, I don't think I even pushed that down in the alternate mode. So apologies for that. That would have been still sticking up in the alternate mode. This is the gun then. So what we're going to do, fold this down. You really need nails. Look, mine are breaking away with some of these figures. Pull that out, get your fingers under there, bring that out, take this part, pull that out as well. That looks to me to be the industry standard masterpiece grip or handle, shall we say. Let's lift up that. It looks to be, it is, yeah, it's going to fit into there. So you can tell you got it right because it'll fit in without you even closing the fingers. So that's always a good sign. Right, so after I've had my little moan about the twin cassettes, let's be honest, I suppose I've had time to reflect on these last couple of minutes. These, although they're toys, let's be honest, they're not really toys. This is quite an expensive figure. It is not aimed at somebody like this was aimed at children in the late 80s, whereas these are, you know, they are toys, of course they are, but they're definitely not aimed at children like the other ones were. So I suppose I doubt very much, and again, please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. You'll see people sitting there playing away with these, doing battles and everything. I'd love to know if people would, to be honest. But there you go, guys. It is impressive. He does look good. His articulation is sensational. As I say, he's super heavy, super chunky, super robust. I'll do my best to get that transformation process video up for you as well, so you can see that. And the fact that we've got these two modes, the toy deco as well as the normal mode, the cartoon mode, is just completely sold it for me. What a great figure. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. In fact, one way to just finish up, let's see if I can get this. I don't think there's actually a specific part for him to rest on or to hold on, shall we say, but I'm sure if we get this here, is he going to balance? There we go. I've just basically used his wings to hook around the shoulder, which of course you can do, because that's what's the point of having articulation. So there we go. Oh, it's not going to work. I'm just going to stop knocking it over. The figure is great. My review wasn't the best, let's be honest, but there you go. I think he's great. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Take care.